Here in the state of California, a missing heir or beneficiary must be found so that person may be given notice of their right to inherit, their right to object, and their right to participate in the probate proceeding. How does the court handle missing heirs in a probate administration? Hello again, this is Certified Probate Real Estate Specialist Daryl Williams with Win-Win Realtors here in Southern California. If you are new here and you like our content, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let's get started. As you know, some families have very complicated situations with children being born out of wedlock, children prior to marriage, family members being at odds with one another, family members being estranged. All of those things create complications when there is a probate administration involved, because any missing people of a particular decedent or deceased person must be found in order for that probate to proceed. The court-appointed administrator or executor is responsible for identifying and locating any missing heirs of a probate administration or any missing beneficiaries of a will or a trust. The probate code mandates that the personal representative use due diligence. That means that they have to use every effort humanly possible to find the missing heir or beneficiary. The California probate courts are reluctant to close a probate administration unless they are convinced that the personal representative has used every effort possible to find the missing heir or beneficiary. The following are common methods used to identify and to locate a missing heir or beneficiary. The personal representative should speak to friends and other family members of the deceased person to determine if they know anything about additional children or offsprings or issues, as they're called in the legal business. The personal representative may want to send letters out to the deceased person's last known address, inquiring about knowledge of that deceased person. The personal representative needs to search public record database for birth certificates, marriage certificates, things of that nature. The personal representative should reach out to the deceased person's previous employer to determine what that employer knows as it relates to the deceased person's children. The personal representative needs to use the power of the internet and social media in order to search for children or offspring of the deceased person. The personal representative should publish a notice in a local newspaper, and this notice should run X amount of consecutive weeks. This is something that's required by the state of California probate code. If all else fails, the personal representative should consider hiring a professional private investigator and or a professional heir tracer. In the case of a missing beneficiary, the will may specify how to distribute the assets. Thus, the court know what to assign to the missing beneficiary. However, if there were no will, the court will have to settle the probate case based on the laws of intestate succession. It is critical that the personal representative keep extreme detailed records of every single effort they've made in order to find that missing heir or beneficiary. Because ultimately, what you're going to need to do is demonstrate to the probate court all of your due diligence involved in finding that missing heir or beneficiary. So ultimately, what happens if you cannot find that missing heir or beneficiary? If the probate judge is completely convinced that you have exhausted every single effort to find that missing heir, when they are convinced of that, they will go ahead and allow the probate case to close. However, what they will do is set aside the missing heir's inheritance with the state controller. That happens for 5 years. During that 5-year period, the personal representative should continue to make an effort to contact that heir or beneficiary, and after 5 years, if that heir or beneficiary is still not found, then the personal representative could move to have that heir declared deceased or an absentee. And ultimately, that money will wind up going to the missing heir's next of kin, possibly to the balance of the other heirs or beneficiaries. And if that doesn't happen, it could even end up in the hands of the state. Question of the day. Have you ever had to find a missing heir or beneficiary in an estate? If so, how were you able to find that heir? If not so, what happened? Let us know in the comments below. Bottom line, if you are a personal representative of a probate estate, or if you are a successor trustee of a trust, you need to make every effort humanly possible to find any missing heir or beneficiary. I'm Darrell Williams. This is Win-Win Realtors TV. If you have any questions for me, don't hesitate to contact me. If you are here in the Southern California area and you have questions, reach out. This video has been for information purposes only. It is not legal advice. I am not an attorney. If you need an attorney, please contact one. If you need a probate attorney or an estate planning attorney here in the Southern California area, feel free to contact me for a referral.